got my sinuses fixed. I was a stubborn, bullheaded young man. Wish I hadn't had done. Look in my nose, one nostril's closed. My sinuses are all mangled up. But anyways, aligned with that, DOMS would be muscle memory. So the principle of reversibility, it's a real thing. The calculation of it though, more speculative, okay? Muscle growth, that's what we all want, obviously. After a prolonged period of resistance training, chronic hypertrophy is responsible for strength gains, okay? And what they mean by that, that would be the sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, okay? So fiber hyperplasia, stress to the muscle stimulates the migration of satellite cells to the damaged region to fuel existing muscle fibers and or produce new ones, i.e. enhanced repair. Okay? In humans, most evidence points to muscle fiber hypertrophy as the primary cause of increased muscle size associated with resistance training. Again, valuable in two aspects. One, creating microtrauma then stimulates the enhanced repair, muscle growth of the bellies through sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, but also stronger bones due to resistance training. A double whammy of yes, yes. Okay? Enhancing muscle growth through through exercise. Resistance training programs that stimulate protein synthesis and muscle growth obviously increase levels of testosterone and growth hormone naturally. Okay? Protein hormone increases the availability of amino acids for protein synthesis, which stimulates the release of growth factor 1, which works with growth hormone to stimulate muscle growth. That's why everybody wants it. But they don't want to do it naturally. They want to do it through the doctor and what's that one, the company? Balcam? Help me out. The one with A-Rod and Jeter. Belco, yes. Okay? Anyways, testosterone releases growth hormone and interacts with neuromuscular system to stimulate muscle growth. These responses are brought about by performing large muscle group multi-joint exercises at high intensities with short intervals. Shazam! Didn't we see that this morning? Did that for a reason. Now, just again, this group's been awesome, but I always get questions on steroids. Steroids technically are what? Synthetic testosterone. You taking those in, guess what your own body quits making? Da-da! Testosterone. So if guys have a date and wanna get busy, they gotta shoot testosterone to make everything work. Why do I know this? I roomed with a couple of guys that were using, and the girlfriends complained to me. Because now these guys were awesome and they're my friends. They in no way were trying to influence me to use that. In fact, my first contest, they were very helpful, picking me up out of bed and putting me on the bike. You will work out. They were awesome. But yeah, when it came to date night, Saturday night, they usually had the old syringes out. They were good for 6 hours and then they're back to being a eunuch, okay? I've seen it for, not the actual.
That is not worth it.
No, it ain't worth it.
I like full operation.
Okay, we're almost done here too, Martha, but anyways, muscle glycogen storage. We've talked about this a lot already. Approximately 300 to 400 grams of glycogen is stored in skeletal muscles. Again, that depends on the size of the person, of course. And approximately 70 to 100 grams is stored in the liver. People forget about that, okay? Enhancing muscle glycogen storage involves eating a carbohydrate-rich diet and consuming carbohydrates within 30 minutes of high-intensity exercise. We get it, gang. I know people want to carb deplete, but if you want to do a good workout, there got to be some present, right? All right. Takes about 24 hours to fully restore muscle glycogen if nutrient needs are met in post-workout and the athlete was properly fueled prior to the workout. Okay? And some suggestions here. Okay? Ensure, for the energy required, ensure adequate total energy intake to support physical activity. Okay? Maintaining appropriate body weight. Can we load up on the glycogen? No. When the reservoir's full, it's full, isn't it? We might be able to take a little bit more in the gut, but not too much more.